In today's episode, you're going to see a hack carpenter custom build these barn doors. Let's go. Like most projects around our little farm, they tend to start from my wife's ideas. I've put this one off for long enough now. These barn doors are going to be her Christmas present this year. After I get my elaborate blueprints complete, we will head back to my little sawmill shop. This little LT35 wood miser has been the MVP of a property over the last few years. There's just a feeling about cutting up your own lumber for projects like this. I've got a few cedar utility poles that we will slice up for these doors. I'm hoping these 2 poles will be enough to get all of our lumber. These used poles are awesome to work with, for the most part. You'll see why I say that here in a minute. We can't forget to drop that dust chute. On just my second cut, we find a nail. Oh well, we'll keep on chugging along. Once you get a log all squared up, you can really make quick work of sawing your boards. Most of the time, these recycled poles, well, they're getting thrown away for a reason. Once I find a bad spot, I'll just simply try to cut around it. You know, try to get as much salvageable lumber as I can. This whole top portion here is pretty much junk. It's destined to make it to the burn pile. One of the perks of this here, though, it's light. You wouldn't see me doing this with the fresh white oak. This first pole still managed to get me all of my perimeter framing and a few siding pieces. Probably in the wrong tool to finagle this log up on the sawmill. Bottom line, I was just too lazy to walk up and get the skid loader, which is about a half mile up that way. We made it work though, guys. Merry Christmas, Kimmy Buck. Seeing it's pretty daggone cold today, I'm gonna move our material up to the heated shop, put these things together. Anytime I can move a project to a more comfortable environment, you better believe I'm gonna do it. Just a few short days before Christmas here. Winter has begun, but I still think the worst is yet to come. I'll start on the framing part of it. It's quite basic. We will have a picture frame of sorts. They call these the stiles and rails in cabinetry, so that's what we'll call them here today. I'll just toenail these together for now. Our final strength, it'll come from the siding when it's all attached and made one piece. Like any type of building project, it makes things way smoother if you can start square. While we were back in the sawmill shed, I wasn't too concerned about making each siding board the exact same width. Now I was sure though to make 2 of each width so that each door can mirror each other. Heck, one of the boards ended up being 13 inches wide. Call it lack of planning or just laziness, but here I arrived at one of my first big problems. Turns out a few of the 2.5-inch screws I was using to fasten the panels poked through the other side. You'll see how I address this here in a second. Now instead of cutting each board to my exact length beforehand, I typically find it quicker and cleaner to snap the old chalk line and make one smooth cut. Did I mention how light this wood is? We're going to throw some cross bracing on here, not so much for strength, which I guess it does add a little rigidity, but it's mostly for aesthetics. We can kind of get a glance now at this first door we just completed. It's not that heavy. That's the way with this cedar, it's kind of dry, it's light. If I would have used regular pine or if I would have sawmilled some poplar, especially if the poplar had been green, it'd been really, really heavy. But it's nice and dry, it shouldn't shrink too much. It's gonna shrink just a little bit, but those used utility poles are cedar and they're very, very dry. I'll probably make some horseshoe handles Let's slide them open. I really hope that's what the wife was thinking. She'll like it, right? As we patiently await another beautiful sunrise here in Southern Ohio, I might as well feed these hay burners some breakfast. Looks like these barn cats, well, they're hungry too. This was probably the part I dreaded the most. In order to make our best product, I need to cut away the side and install a better header system to hang these doors from. This job turned out to be very, let's say, dusty and messy. Lucky for me, my father-in-law Rick had perfect timing this morning. I was finally getting to the point of the project where my two hands, they might not have been enough. So we'll put old Papa Rick to work here. Now you see, up to this point, we've steered clear of any store-bought material. Well, for the most part. But now we're getting to the actual door hardware. I went to our local Amish pole barn supply house to get our hardware. Man, they're proud of this stuff. I had a little over $500 for these two little 6-foot doors. I dang near got these doors fully built and hung incognito. But the wife popped by the shop this morning and got her first glimpse of the door.
My two favorite men.
I think she likes them. One of the boys was home for Christmas break from West Point, so we put him to work too.
More.
All right, we got this first door hung. Now we'd space this out 3/4 inch. I was afraid of that dragging. But you can see the gap that leaves us. So I put this little splice piece on just to test and tune. So I think now we're gonna have to take this railing back down this channel and we'll remove our spacer board up there. Not ideal, but now's the time to do something like this. It really is. Well, good morning, guys. It's actually Saturday morning, doing some finishing touches up on these beautiful sliding barn doors. Last night in the shop, late, I welded these little things up. I'm not gonna paint them. They're horseshoes. We're gonna make handles. That'll give us something to slide it back and forth. And then once we get both up on each door, it'll give us a place to put a board to lock it in to keep it from flopping back and forth in the wind. Nice little touch as we wrap up the trim and stuff here today on a beautiful Saturday morning in Southern Ohio. It's amazing that came from a power pole. I had these in the shop too. I thought these might be good to, on the inside, kind of give us a handle to pull. And we could also lock this up on the inside if we wanted to. That's kind of a stop for the door too, so. And this still gives us a 11-foot opening. Oh yeah, look at that, it's pour right on it. Whether you watch this video out of curiosity or just trying to get advice on building your own sliding doors, you should know. The same principle could be used for more common, the decorative interior doors. Your closet, bedroom doors. The same principle kind of goes hand in hand. Not too bad for a hack carpenter. My skills, well, they're average at best. If I can do this project, I'm sure you can too. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for working with us. Karen Creek, over and out.